So we're here with Steve Moakler. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us. Actually, after the show, so it was a good show. Both you and Graham was great. It's good to have you here. So, can you tell us a little bit about this new album and how it's changed a little bit, how it's grown and evolved from the first album?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences between the new record is the amount of time I spent writing for it. I took about 2 years, and I wrote close to 100 songs. Whereas going into the first record, I wrote 15. And you know, having spent more time in Nashville, I just my understanding of a great song has changed.
Yeah.
And the bar has been higher, and I feel really challenged and inspired by that city and the people around me. So that's one of the biggest differences, is this level of song that I want to record and write. And there is a little bit of a country influence that has made its way. I think it kind of came along with that.
Yeah. Well, you said on the This Ain't Rock and Roll that it's like your country song.
Yeah, there's something going on. I really, when I came to Nashville, I didn't like country, and I thought it was so formula. And spending more time there, I think they have something figured out of just a traditional way to write a great song.
Yeah.
And I've kind of adopted that into my songwriting, and I like it.
Yeah. When you're in Nashville, you can't help it, right?
Yeah. So you go out to change the world, and the world changes you.
Yeah. Cool.
But I like it. I'm happy to be changed.
How do you narrow it down from 100 to like 12, 10?
It's surprisingly easy to narrow it down to 20.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of songs you write that are just, all right, that was one. You know, it's just kind of generic. But I really can't explain. But they're just. I mean, having been writing songs for 10 years now, there's just kind of some songs just have an X factor. Sure. There's like. And you just kind of, you want to play it again, you tell people want to hear it again. It's just some songs are worth repeating, and some aren't.
And what does the process look like for you? Do you write music first and then put lyrics to it? Or do you have the lyrics first? Does it change?
It changes, but usually you come up with a musical idea and some chords, and then that kind of sets a mood, and then that mood kind of informs an idea, and then you. You know, I usually just mumble crap for a little while, and then I say something like, "It's a losing game, trying to play you down." Like, oh, there's something in there. There's a song, and then you kind of have this title and an idea, and then you just kind of pursue that and try to make it hit as hard as you can.
Sure. I appreciate most people say it's different every time. You know, and so it's good to hear that you have a way that it works for you. You know,
and occasionally things break that rule, but that's the normal process.
How's the tour been with Graham? You said that you sang together on the album. Does that continue? Do you guys write on the road, or we
haven't yet? There's really not. For some reason, at least for me, writing on the road doesn't really happen. Because it's you wake up, and you gotta go find food, and then you gotta drive, and it just doesn't really work.
Sure.
But Graham and I, we do plan to write in the future, and I think he's awesome. He's a great songwriter, and we draw from kind of similar influence. I think we both love late '90s radio music.
You can tell.
And there's not a lot of guys that really still pull from that. I feel like we probably both come out and say we love the Goo Goo Dolls and Matchbox 20.
Absolutely.
And we wear it on our sleeve.
Yeah, that's awesome. So speaking to you and Graham being similar, I mean, there's obviously some differences, but you're in a crowded genre of that, singer-songwriter guy with the guitar. So what do you do? How do you do something different to make yourself, stand out from the crowd?
That's a great question. Honestly, I'm trying to figure that out. But I don't, what I aspire to do is just write the best songs possible, and the people that stand out in that crowd are the ones that have the best songs. And if you're a standout, then that's great. But I just try to write the best songs I can, and if that's not what it takes to do that, then I don't really care to do that.
Sure. Cool.
So,
my inside sources tell me you used to be in a band called My Evergreen Avenue.
That's true. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man. What?
Back in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was, my hometown is Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb about 15 minutes south of the city. And yeah, that was a band that my best friends in high school and I started, and we were just super eager and excited, and we had a pretty good run in Pittsburgh. We never really made it outside, like anywhere further than an hour outside of Pittsburgh, but we worked really hard, and you know, I wasn't really involved in a lot of stuff in high school. I didn't play sports or anything, so that was like my thing, and we all kind of got, you know, in the garage.
Nice.
Like, that was our extracurricular activity, if you will. Yeah, and we went out with a band. We had our last show at a sold-out Hard Rock Cafe, Pittsburgh. Nice. It's like people were bursting through the seams.
Awesome.
I still can't do that in Pittsburgh on my own. I'm like, those are the glory days. But we finished with Semisonic. Closing Time was the last song of the night. And this was still, you know, some of my close friends.
Great.
One of them lives with me in Nashville.
Nice.
Other one just had a baby yesterday, so we're all growing up.
Crazy.
They've all moved into the professional world.
Sure.
And I'm the only one that's still chasing this thing.
Awesome. What's on the radio? What are you listening to? What's inspiring you? What should we know about?
I mean, I gotta say, I'm not one of those guys that has my ear to the ground, if you will. I used to always look. Yeah, you got Tim did there. But I don't really listen to a lot of like cool indie music anymore.
That's what we're for.
That's it.
I'll just give you a website.
Yeah, yeah. I'll check out the blog. Honestly, one of the biggest influences for me right now is this, a country artist named Eric Church. He's bad to the bone.
Yeah.
He's one of the few country artists that's writing his own songs, and they're amazing. Like he's out of his mind, kid.
Yeah.
And man, who really inspires me is a lot of my friends.
Sure.
In Nashville, they're great songwriters, and
they're all over the place.
Yeah, I go to their house and play a song on the couch, and I'm just like. So, I really would say that my friends are probably my biggest influence.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How tough is it not getting to watch Steelers and Penguins on the road?
Especially the Steelers. It's really
last
tough.
night.
I know, man, and it was great. But like, I honestly, and I have to admit this, like I didn't even realize we were playing. So when I go on the road, it's just like. I unfortunately get sucked into this different headspace where I don't know what's going on.
What day of the week it is.
Yeah, and I just like, we're playing, and I was at the bar last night, and someone was like, you see a Steeler game? And I was like, Steelers are playing? Let's get out of here. Like, I just forgot. But, yeah, but when I watch the Steelers, I feel like I'm at home. That's why I watch it. I'm a fan.
Well, thanks for taking the time to sit down and talk to us, and we look forward to hearing more from you and getting more music from you in the future. So thanks,
man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.